ready to explore rural India?
I'm all ears.
We're talking about a massive 65% of the country's population.
Yeah.
Almost a billion people.
Wow. That's a lot of people.
Yeah. So their well-being is, like, directly tied to the nation's future.
No doubt about it.
That's why we're doing this deep dive.
To get a better understanding of what's happening.
Exactly. We'll look at what's driving growth, the big challenges, and some of the cool solutions coming up.
Sounds good.
Our guide for this is an editorial titled Rural Resilience and Development.
Okay.
I'm always excited to jump into the good stuff. And there's a ton.
Like what?
Over 700,000 kilometers of rural roads built in the last 21 years.
Whoa.
That's like driving to the moon and back twice.
That's not just a number, it's progress. Better roads mean easier access to everything. Markets, healthcare, education, all the stuff you need for growth.
And it's not just physical infrastructure. The digital revolution is hitting villages too.
Really?
The number of UPI transactions in rural areas has just exploded.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. How are people in remote villages even using digital tools?
Well, platforms like UPI make it possible. You can do mobile payments even with basic phones.
Oh, that's cool. So they can buy and sell online and access banking.
Exactly.
It's a big change.
For sure.
Yeah.
And speaking of big changes, over 87 million women are active in self-help groups across rural India.
Seriously?
Yeah, it's huge. What's fascinating is how it's changing the economics.
I see what you mean. These self-help groups are empowering women.
Economically and socially.
Right. They're helping women start businesses.
Boosting family income.
And giving women a voice in their communities.
Huge impact.
It is.
So we've got roads, tech, and empowered women shaping the future of rural India.
It's a good start.
But it's not all sunshine and rainbows, right?
Unfortunately, no. There are still some big problems that need to be addressed.
One that really jumped out at me was healthcare. 75% of healthcare resources are in urban areas.
Really? That much?
Yeah. Leaving huge chunks of the rural population without proper care.
That's tough.
It really highlights the inequality that still exists.
And even with programs like Ayushman Bharat, things are complicated on the ground.
Yeah. There's still a huge shortage of doctors and facilities in remote areas.
Right.
Then there's education. 43% of rural youth can't read basic English sentences. What does that mean for their future?
Yeah. It's concerning, especially in today's world.
School enrollment is up, but the quality of education is lagging behind in many rural areas.
I see.
Teacher shortages, bad infrastructure, and that digital divide are all factors.
So even if there are online resources available, a lot of kids can't access them.
Exactly. It's a vicious cycle.
It is.
Uneven internet access is a barrier to so much.
Education, information, opportunities.
It limits their potential.
It does.
And what about the farmers? They're the backbone of rural India.
True.
But even with government schemes like PM-KUSUM, they're struggling.
Yeah.
Their incomes are going down.
That's not good.
It's really disheartening.
Yeah.
And they're on the front lines of climate change, too.
Facing droughts, floods, and all that.
Yeah. It makes things even harder for them.
Definitely. Climate change adds a whole other layer of complexity to an already difficult situation, and it's only going to get worse. But it's not all bad news.
No.
There were some bright spots, too.
Oh, tell me more.
Well, there are some amazing examples of resilience and innovation.
Where?
All over rural India. Communities are tackling these problems head on.
That's what I like to hear.
Like those farmers in Gujarat.
What about them?
They're using solar-powered irrigation to deal with water scarcity.
Smart.
Instead of relying on rainfall or groundwater,
Makes sense.
they're using the sun.
How's it working out for them?
It's working. They're getting better crop yields, and they're saving water.
That's fantastic.
It's a great example of using technology and traditional knowledge.
To find sustainable solutions.
Exactly.
I love it.
What else?
There's a village in Bihar.
Okay.
It's completely solar-powered. No way. Really?
It's true. The village is called Darnai. They're energy independent.
Wow.
It's led to more businesses and better education.
That's incredible. Real change happening right now.
Absolutely.
And have you heard about the Kudumashree model in Kerala?
Of course.
It's doing amazing things for women.
Kudumashree is all about collective action. It's run by women.
And it's tackling poverty.
Not just poverty, nutrition too. And it's making women into leaders.
It sounds like they've found the secret to social and economic progress.
It's impressive, that's for sure.
These are all amazing stories. But what's the bigger picture? What can we learn from them?
There are definitely some takeaways, like the potential of climate-smart agriculture.
Like those farmers in Gujarat.
Yes. Combining sustainable practices and technology.
To make agriculture more resilient.
And more productive. It's not just about new technology. It's about adapting it.
To local conditions.
Yes. And using traditional wisdom as well.
I see. And that's where public-private partnerships can come in.
They can. Companies can bring their expertise and resources.
And work with the government.
Right. To make a bigger impact.
It's about combining forces.
Exactly. For example, ITC's Eat Shall Paul initiative is doing great things.
Tell me about it.
It connects farmers directly to markets.
Cutting out the middleman.
Yep. And they get information and resources too.
So they get a fair price for their products.
That's the goal. And let's not forget transportation and digital connectivity.
Those are important too.
We need to expand rural roads.
But we also need to think about digital connections.
Right. For trade, education, healthcare, and more.
It's about connecting villages physically and digitally.
To help them participate in the modern economy. And we need to do all this sustainably.
I agree.
Rural housing needs some attention too.
What do you mean?
We need to build better houses using disaster-resilient technologies.
To make them safer.
Yes. Imagine homes that can withstand floods and earthquakes.
Like those villages in Kashmir.
Exactly. They rebuilt after the 2014 floods using eco-friendly materials.
They're a model for sustainable construction.
They are. It shows that we can build back better.
That's encouraging. So we've talked about a lot. Infrastructure, agriculture, technology, housing. But it all comes down to the people, right?
It does. We need to empower rural communities to thrive in this changing world.
How do we do that?
Education and skills development are key. We need to prepare them for the future.
So not just traditional farming skills.
Right. We need to teach them digital literacy, green technologies, entrepreneurship, and critical thinking.
Wow. That's a lot.
We need to prepare them for jobs that don't even exist yet.
That's a good point.
It's about fostering lifelong learning and helping them participate in the digital economy.
To build a sustainable future.
Exactly. It's about investing in people.
Rural development is complex. There are no easy solutions. But it's also inspiring to see these pockets of progress.
Like pieces of a puzzle.
Coming together to create positive change. And a lot of these solutions are coming from the communities themselves.
That's right. They're recognizing their own strengths and resilience.
And creating a better future for themselves.
We need to shift our perspective. Stop seeing rural India as a problem.
And start seeing it as a source of solutions.
Exactly. A real shift in thinking.
And that brings us to you, our listeners. If you were in charge of rural development,
okay,
what would be your top priority?
That's a tough one.
It is.
There's no single answer. Every region is different. Every village is different.
True.
What works in one place might not work in another.
Right. But maybe there are some general principles.
Maybe. We could look at those successful initiatives.
Yeah.
One thing's for sure, we need a holistic approach.
What do you mean?
We can't just focus on one thing, like infrastructure or technology or education.
They're all connected.
Exactly. It's about combining everything, creating a plan that works for each community.
So it's like a puzzle.
It is. Each piece is important, but they have to fit together.
I get it.
And another crucial piece is community involvement.
Really?
The best solutions come from the people.
The people who live there.
Yes. They know their communities best.
That makes sense.
We need to listen to them, respect their knowledge, involve them every step of the way.
It's about empowering them.
Exactly. Giving them ownership of their development.
And look at the results.
The self-help groups, the solar-powered villages, the new farming techniques.
Wow.
It's proof that people can create amazing things when they have the power to do it.
It's about fostering a sense of ownership.
Absolutely.
And collaboration.
Yes. Recognizing that the people facing the challenges often have the solutions.
And we've seen that throughout this deep dive.
We have.
There are solutions out there.
Sometimes in unexpected places.
We need to learn from them and adapt them.
To different contexts. What stands out to me is the human spirit.
Me too.
The belief that things can get better.
It's inspiring.
It is. It reminds us that there's always hope.
Even when things are tough.
Right.
So as we wrap up this deep dive,
okay,
let's think about that question again.
The one about our top priority.
Yes. What would you do to improve rural livelihoods?
Think about your own community.
What are the strengths?
What are the challenges?
What solutions make sense?
And what can you do to help?
Thanks to UPSC Deep Dive, we have a roadmap.
That's right.
Every journey begins with a single step.
It does.
And small actions can make a big difference.
Especially when we all work together.
We hope this deep dive has made you curious.
About rural India.
It's a place full of potential.
Definitely.
Share your thoughts.
Share this episode.
Join the conversation about rural development.
Let's keep learning.
And working together to create a future where everyone can thrive.
That's a great goal.
And don't forget to subscribe to the UPSC Deep Dive channel
For more deep dives.
into important topics.
See you next time.
Keep diving deep.